our brains in that horrible conditions of our country is complete wobbly and it's over shattered. With all the conditionings and all the ego part from both the sides, the brain is completely, as we say, has gone soft. And anything that is truth, anything that is light, can baffle you, can upset you. That's why I have been insisting that 6 months at least one should pass before coming to Sahaja Yoga. They can't understand anything because they have never known these things. I do not blame you. You have never known such personalities. You have never known what is Adishakti. And that's why one has to prepare one's own personality by cleansing it, by putting your brains into proper shapes, your hearts into proper shapes. If, supposing, there is a vessel which is already cracked, you try to pour water in it, it will crack completely. It will be completely destroyed. I have seen people who have come to my pujas and they just went off completely, absolutely. They couldn't bear it. The other way around in India. For them, puja is the highest. They will not do any other thing that you can do. But puja part, they know what is puja is, what it means. This is the big difference. But still I must give you all the credit that the way you all have come out of that horrible conditioning that you have had, where it is said that God is wrathful and that you have to suffer too much and all this nonsense. So, I've heard it many a times from people who came to us, this is too much. This is too much. Because your vessel is so small, it's so crooked, it's so raw, it's gone soft, it cannot receive. That's why 6 months are at least needed to create that vessel within. This restriction I would not put on Indians, but definitely on the Western people, because you must have been great saints in last lives. You must have been great seekers. And you must have been people who were looking for truth, no doubt about it. But when you were born in that country with great venture, some spirit that will show some results in these countries, what I find that all the brain is battered. They have seen to it that all the saints are battered, because saints also are always under attack. So many people got diseases just they were born. They got into trouble just they were born. Then later on, as you grew up, the more you grew up in that society, the more you started accepting their ideas, the more you became aware of the nonsensical development. You get filled with that. Not only the brain, the heart, the liver, everything. Like if you put something like a sponge into a dirty, filthy water, all the worms, everything walk into it. Now you have to squeeze it out, completely take out all that. Whatever traditions you have are finished. Whatever value systems you had are finished. Whatever collective sense you had is finished. Like we can say, we cannot create Abraham Lincoln in America again. We cannot. Why? We cannot create Lenin in Russia. Why? The reason is, when they have gone away, the society that came up, these are the lotuses. But the lotuses were plucked out, and now what is left are all worms. And when you are born in that pond, You have to become the lotuses, but already they have hit you on your spirit. They have hit you on your brain, on your heart, on your liver. Under these circumstances, one has to rise and see that if we have to really grow into that new atmosphere, we have to accept each and everything of Sahaja Yoga, try to grow and develop yourself into a way that purifies you completely, and that the vessel is made beautiful, such a beautiful vessel that whatever mother pours in is contained in it and it gives the light. Supposing the lamp has got the container of oil absolutely shattered and broken, what's the use of putting my love into it? It will never burn. Already there's such a lot of nonsense in that whatever love I put in it will all get mixed up and it will never burn and give good lights. So you have to understand, my love, you have to understand your own position and you have to cleanse it. Anybody who thinks this is too much is still, I must say, lacks that purity within himself. Nothing is too much for a person who is a realized soul. Realized soul is like the bottom of the ocean. Whatever may be the ocean, the bottom is always bigger. In the same way, a realized soul has to. You may increase the size of the ocean any amount. It becomes bigger and bigger. On the contrary, I have seen that slightest thing here and there upsets. You get suddenly upset, I'm very upset, for nothing at all. And you think that kind of a fuss is a very big thing. It's not. Shows that you are not a Sahaja Yogi yet. If you get upset with small things, what work are we going to do? What are we going to show to the world? That we have got Sahaja Yoga, we've got our realization, so we have achieved something great. We have to make great people out of it. Many Abraham Lincolns and Lenin, Lao Tse's, Mozart's, all have to come out of it. We have to create William Blake out of it. There were only one or two. I was not present at that time. Still, they survived and created great works. In the same way, out of you, we have to create these great people. But first you must realize that you have to be absolutely cleansed out and give up all the false, funny ideas that you have. I was shocked to hear that there was a marriage held in the church by Sahaja Yogis. You shouldn't do that. And I found, as a result of that, some people got possessed. What is the need for you to go to a church and get the thing done, solemnized by a priest? Bring unhappiness to everyone, get them caught up. In the whole of France, I have seen only Kshaत्र or that Notre Dame as the only place where they have buried no dead bodies. So you go to a cemetery to celebrate your marriage. Get your bhoots on your heads and spoil so many Sahaja Yogis. No Sahaja Yogi should attend such marriages. And for what? Just to please some of your relations? They are no your relations. Your relations are Sahaja Yogis and no other relations. You must know that. You have no other relationship in this world but only Sahaja Yogi. If you try to keep relationship with others, it's all right to have some pleasantries. You can be pleasant to others, you can be nice to others, talk to others. But know that they are not your relations. You are born in this tree of life. They are still not on this tree. So we cannot become one with them. We cannot be identified with them. We need not please them. We should say we do not want to have any such marriages. Here also I have seen people who go to temple get caught up. Because in the temples there are booths. They know that. So we have to give up all these religions. As Krishna says, Sarva dharmanam parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up all these horrible religions and religious ideas. They have done no good to you, to the society or to anyone. They have gone against Christ, against Muhammad Sahib, against Krishna, against Rama and Buddha Mahavira. We are now Sahajogis. And must know that we have to develop at Sahajogis. We have to make our vessel all right. We have to put ourselves on a pedestal, then onto a hilltop, and there we have to show that we are Sahajogis and what we can achieve. There has to be a kind of a wisdom, a sense, a sensibility and sensitiveness towards all the atmosphere. You must know how far to go with people, how far to say something, how far to achieve something, not to go on sympathizing with nonsensical people. Just forget them. If they have to come, they will come to Sahaja. Also, I must tell you, in the heaven there are very few places. Don't care for the multitudes. Care for the quality. It's the privilege of very few to enter into the kingdom of God. So forget your relationships and you, forget all other people. Get to Sahaja, get established in Sahaja and tell them that we have changed our religion, now we have become Vishwadharmis. That will satisfy them. That as we had become Christians and Muslims and Hindus, let us now become something else. Because now we are not the same as we were, we are reborn again. And that's how we have to give up all these funny ideas. I was very sorry to hear that a marriage was arranged like that without my permission. Nobody asked me. And many Sahajogis went there and dresses were bought for them in England for going to the church and especially dressing up for the wedding. I can't believe it. I can't still believe it, but it has happened. Again, now it should not be repeated. If you go to the church, your children will be born with some troubles. Then you will come to me. You may not have children. Also, I have seen that. Those who have had, I have tried to attend one wedding like that in the church, and I found it was horrid. Vibrations were horrid, and the lady had to suffer a lot. So now decide for yourself, no more to please your relations. There's no need to have anyone connected with you. You can ask them to come to Sahaja. You can tell them that this is what we have found. If you want, you can come to Sahaja. But we have nothing to do with it. Only then you can help them to come up. You have to be strong enough to show them results that there's something great about Sahaja. That you are decent people, you are decorous people, people with great self-respect and a great stability within you. Also a very common psychological thing I have seen people start explaining, whether this lady might be insecure. Nothing of the kind. Nonsense. This is the greatest nonsense I ever heard. People are insecure about one person and then you say that that person has insecurity. I mean, everybody is feeling insecure about that person. On the contrary, you say, he is insecure. This kind of a sympathy shown by a psychologist is alright because he has to get some money out of it. Even if you murder somebody, you say, yes, it was true because you murdered that person because you are insecure. Even Hitler was quite alright because he was insecure. This is funny, absolutely nonsensical. So we must understand the aggressiveness within us doesn't come from insecurity, but comes from ego and from aggressive nature. Doesn't come to us from insecurity. Those who say about insecurity all the time are the people who just want to explain that I did it because I was insecure. No, it is ego. It is horrible ego which tries to overpower others, use others and make them your slaves. Try to understand. It is no insecurity. The psychologists have put all these nonsensical ideas, and some Indians also talk like that. All these modern ideas also beware. Be very, very careful. The way they have implanted in your minds that we have to be very sympathetic. There is nothing like good and bad. That everybody is perfectly all right. All this nonsensical ideas we should not have. We must know that there's something very different. Those who are good, and those who are not are horrid. Not because of psychological reason, but because they are basically horrid. And we have nothing to do with them. They are evil. And they are evil geniuses. We should not be sympathetic towards them at all. Those who are evil. They come to Sahaja Yoga also, they will be thrown out permanently. So do not take sides with the evil people. Do not show compassion to the bad people. Please try to understand. This is not a place where we have a charitable institution where we have all the handicapped and all the beggars put together. Not a charity at all. Let us not be very charitable. Let us be charitable with the Sahaja Yogis and with ourselves. We have nothing to do with such horrible people. They are anti-God, they are anti-Christ, they are anti-divinity. They are our enemies. No need to have such charities with your enemies. So be careful on that point. And I am not teaching you hatred, but I am teaching you discrimination. Must discriminate between good and bad. If you cannot do that, then you will be in trouble. So do not sympathize, do not take sides with the negative people. Also, the negative people always sit together, I see. As soon as I look at one negative, I find 10 people around that. Egoists will sit together. If I see one egoist sitting in one place, 10 egoists are sitting with him. Because they can talk to each other better. You see, one can argue better than the other. And they enjoy that aggression of each other. So be careful. Be on the watch out. Where are we sitting? Between the negative or over positive? Where are we? We have to be in the center. We have to be in the center. Are we close to our mother or close to these horrible people around us? We must discriminate and find out what is happening. Where, what is. Do not get identified with anything, with your country. I am not identified. To me, India's or anybody is just the same. Just to say that you are the visitors here, as they call it, guests to you. I would say call them foreigners, because guests can be otherwise also. So we have just a demarcating line just to understand. That's all. But means nothing to me. To me, all of you are born out of my heart. All of you are close to my heart. And you are not to feel in any way rejected or rejected till you find, I tell you that you have to reject these things. Unnecessarily don't torture yourself and don't make yourself miserable. You have to be happy people, joyous people. You have to give joy to everyone. May God bless you all. Sort of funny, there are some. I must say, it must have helped you all quite a lot. And let's see today. This great country is also passing through a crisis. Nowadays, I feel there are so many things that are happening which we could never dream before. And at this time, you all have arrived, bringing peace and joy to all of them. So I thank you for that. The strife and the strain which is on human beings is perhaps because they are not yet worthy of God's blessings. Still, as God has created them, He tries to do His utmost to see that human beings are kept comfortably alright on this Mother Earth. He creates all kinds of beautiful things, as you see, and the whole cosmos is in unison and working out something very great today. This new revolution that has started very, very silently today is taking its shape and is providing a new future for all of us. You see those big, big trees that are on top of your head? And as long as you are sitting here, no fruit will fall upon you. It's not because I am here, but because this Mother Earth knows that there are such great saints sitting here, and she's not going to be still. This was called as Shri, I was told, means the village of the goddess. And this fruit is called as Shri, meaning the fruit of the goddess. But actually, if you see, a coconut is something like our sastra, and is very auspicious because it can absorb a lot of vibrations, as if it has got its realization. As you people can absorb my vibrations, this fruit can absorb also my vibrations in the greatest amount. So we are here today in a very big way to advertise the coming of the new age. It's you as separate. Yourself is separate from yourself. All misidentifications have to be dropped off. All kinds of misidentifications. I was reading one of the marriages list and all that. Somebody says that they will marry Indians, some say will not marry Indians, some say will not change the country, some say will change the country. Even after Sahaja Yoga for some years, if we stick on to one country as our own, then I must say we have to give up those limitations. The time is now. Of course, you have the choice. Nobody is going to force you to do it. But it also expresses your personality. That you still are lingering on these small limitations. As I have told you many times, God created only one word. Of course, He created varieties, just to create beauty. But how blind we are that we think we are different people. We are of different countries, of different races, of different castes, communities, cities, then little roads, then houses. I would say we become from human beings to rats, and rats to worms, and then I don't know what is the situation yet. Let's open our heart. Let's become great. We have to be like lions, not to be small and creepy people like worms. We have many worms everywhere in the world. We are specially chosen people to be something great. So open your heart. That's the main problem. This ego covers the heart and makes you feel that now I am an Indian,
Christian, I am this thing, I am that. Now if I say to someone you are not to go to temple, then I must be a very cruel person to say that not to go to a temple. But they go to a temple and come back with such a big entity on their heads. Then they go to churches. The other day I had a very bad experience of a lady who went to a church in France. And she has become something like a minister, maybe something like something very funny, nothing normal. I could discover it. When I asked, she said, I went to a church. Why? Because they arranged a marriage there. Why? Oh, they wanted to have a big social event, so they wanted to have a marriage. You could just have a registered marriage, finish. No. Why do you want to go to a church where all dead bodies are buried? To get back some of them on your heads. So we have to be prepared to give up all these shackles of nonsense from our heads. All kinds of things there. So much of conditioning. Come down even to the color scheme. Then it's all conditioning. This is too much. Not good. All funny ideas and anything funny and nonsensical that comes up. Such funny brains. The other day, I was telling a lady about her food. That a new idea has come that you should not eat any salt vegetable. I mean, just imagine. Salt is so important for our breathing. Ask any doctor, I don't know what's happening to the doctors. And sugar is so important for our combustion. But anybody says anything, you people just jump at it and you people just start to be impressed by all these ideas. And start torturing yourself. Last but not the least, I feel now, I've seen the program called Gnostic. Gnostic, G-N-O. And I was thinking, it comes from where? G-N-O. In Sanskrit language, Neo. Neo, we call it. Call it Neo or Neo. Anyway, that means to know. Gnostics means the one who knew. When St. Thomas came to India, he came via Egypt, and he wrote all about it, what is to know. He said it's a personal experience of everyone. Just he described all Sahaja Yoga there. And also he said, why should God make you suffer? He is the most loving and affectionate Father, blasting all ideas of Christianity. Also, so many Hindus believe like that, Muslims believe like that you must suffer. So now somehow or other the exposure of the truth is also coming. And also there is a kind of a turmoil going on. A kind, I would say, a tremendous dynamic effects are seen on human mind today, that he starts thinking, what is this? And you are the answer. You are the one who is going to convince them. And somebody was saying that, Mother, why not we make every year as a great year of propagation of Sahaja, propaganda of Sahaja, prachar. I said, all right, you want to make the year, by that if something happens, let us have. But like our 5-year plan in India, I don't want to do all the documentation and write files and files and files, nothing comes out. But today it is that we are the ones who have to manifest this greatness on this earth. We are the ones who have to do all this. How can we be weak people? How can we be possessed people? How can we be fussy people? How can we be the people who are not saints? We have to come out of our own pettiness, all our conditionings, and of all the things our ego. But not through fighting, through meditation, through witness state. You have to be the witness. Now you are traveling. When you are traveling, normally the witness state is how to criticize something. They'll never see the good point, but they'll say, oh, look at that, this color should not have any nose. That's not good. That's not good. What is good is to be seen. What is good in you, how much good you can have, and what is good in other people. This time, I'm telling you that on your way, I hope you will all enjoy it very much more, and you feel the manifestation of your spirit all around you, within you, and in other people.